used to rule the world. Seas would rise when I gave the word. Now in the morning I sleep alone. Sweep the streets I used to own. I used to roll the dice, feel the fear in my enemy's eyes, listen as a crowd would sing. Now the old king is dead, long live the king. The minute I held the key, next the walls were closed on me, and I discovered a castle stand upon pillars of stone and pillars of sand. Here Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, I know St. Peter won't call my name. Never an honest word, that was when I ruled the world. The wicked and wild wind blew down the doors to let me in. Shattered windows and the sound of drums. People couldn't believe what I'd become. Revolutionaries wave through my head on a silver plate. I'm just a puppet on a lonely string. Now who would ever wanna be king? Now here Jerusalem bells are ringing, a Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, I know St. Peter won't call my name. Never an honest word, that was when I ruled the world.
And he's coming all the way in here.
Welcome to the Morning After Solo Show. I guess that's what this is this morning. So I don't know. This is gonna be abysmal if I can't get anything going and if no one joins. So so I guess we can just watch a little bit of a tirade here from about why our military needs to preserve the rights. And what kind of rights do we need to preserve here?
Why is the new DoD policy on abortion critical to military readiness?
I'm really glad you asked that question. No, I mean, I really am. 1 in 5 members of the U.S. military are women, 20%. We're an all-volunteer force. Nobody's forcing you to sign up and go. People volunteer to go. You raise your right hand and you say, I'm gonna do this for a few years or even for my life. And it might cost me my life to do it. And when you sign up and you make that contract, you have every right to expect that the organization, in this case the military, is going to take care of you, and they're going to take care of your families, and they're going to make sure that you can serve with dignity and respect, no matter who you are, who you love, or how you worship or don't. And our policies, whether they're diversity, inclusion, and equity, or
Love how they gotta mention that.
whether they're about transgender individuals who qualify physically and mentally to serve, to be able to do it with dignity, or whether it's about
I might, D-dubs.
female service members, 1 in 5, or female family members being able to count on the kinds of health care and reproductive care specifically that they need to serve. That is a foundational, sacred obligation of military leaders across the river. I've seen it myself, and it matters because it says we're invested in you because you are being willing to invest in us. You're investing your life, your family's livelihood with us. We owe you that back in return.
Doesn't that mean that you should, even going to that level, even if we're extending like the biggest olive branch we can here and saying that he's being charitable, let's just think about that for a second. Like, we have to extend the rights to protect you if you're going to like kill your child, but we need to protect you and your family if you're going to be part of the military. So we're going to protect you, allowing you to kill your child. I mean, if we're being honest, that's what it is. So I mean, that just doesn't make any sense.
I had a chance a couple of weeks ago to meet with some military spouses here at the White House. Some were active duty members, some were spouses, all were women. And 201, they told me that abortion laws in this country that are now being passed are absolutely having an effect on their willingness to continue serving in uniform or to encourage or discourage, in this case, their spouses from continuing service. So if you don't think there's going to be a retention and a morale issue, think again, because it's already having that effect.
But that's not because of the women. Like, he even said women only make up 20% of the military force. So if you're having a retention issue and a recruiting issue, and you're only 20%, so because of the policies affecting 20% of the workforce, in this case, I guess, or the military force, then you're saying that only a fifth of the, so 1 in every 5 is affected by this, but but that's causing the recruiting issues. I mean, your majority force is 80% male, so
I have a son in the Navy. I think you all know that, and son-in-law
Yes,
too.
we
They're
can beat
both
them with
stationed
olive.
down in Norfolk on destroyers.
Yes, we can definitely beat them with olive branch. They kind of deserve it.
You know, and they're proud to keep serving their country in the Navy. But the Navy told them where to go. You go where you're told. That's the way orders work. You go where you're assigned. You don't get to choose. And so what happens if you get assigned to a state like Alabama, which has a pretty restrictive abortion law in place? And
Thank God. Thank God, honestly.
you're concerned about your reproductive care. What do you do? Do you say no and get out? Well, some people may decide to do that. And what does that mean? That means we lose talent, important talent. And we're
Important talent how? Like, because like you're saying such contradictory things, like that they only make up 1/5 of the force, and clearly it's not that they're the. Or are you saying that that women tend to be the most talented in the military? I would press X to doubt really hard on that one, Chief.
we're again an all volunteer force. Recruiting is tough enough as it is with a very strong economy out there. We want to keep the people that we get, and we want to make sure that they can continue to serve. So it can have an extremely significant impact on our recruiting and our retention. Not to mention, it's just the right darn thing to do for people that raise their hand and agree to serve in the military.
My God, like just the fact that they blatantly want to say that, like that this is so critically affecting the military, that they need to protect that interest, and that it's a whole policy, like an entire policy. But I have no further words to describe how idiotic that is. But speaking of idiotic, this has been a discussion, and I want the chat to weigh in here. This has been a huge argument on Twitter. And so there was this oh man, let me share. So there was this tweet which garnered a lot of attention. So I don't know if Kilta Party started it, but Margot Robbie is a natural mid, which, if we're being honest, above average, okay? Above average. If I'm looking at average. But I mean, then again, there is some truth to this. There's some truth. There's some truth. I mean, not I mean, maybe this makes up for this. I don't know. I don't know. The But this sparked a conversation. This, as like the left like to say, like, it sparked a conversation. And apparently her being mid is really dangerous now. Really dangerous. Arguing about her hotness is insane and really dangerous. So I didn't really read through the actual article, but it's um God, I hate how New York Post, even with ad blocker, I get ads on here. But they, for those not versed in internet speak, mid is like basically like a 5 or 6 or 7 maybe. See, that's why it's funny, because like sometimes it depends on the person saying it. But anyway, this was really just like a little bit of an observation and a little bit of a joke. Like it was pointing toward the fact that the Barbie movie is coming out, and the fact that she's not like, there are other actresses who might be more suited to play Barbie, but that was I think that was the original tweet actually. Let's see, is there the actual, no, where's the, but yeah, essentially the post was to say that because her being cast in the Barbie movie, like they didn't want to cast someone who would be too attractive that would then make women feel uncomfortable, like, oh, I can never be Barbie. That's essentially what the argument was. But now apparently calling her mid is dangerous. Uh, I don't know how, like, this is no different than any of the other, like, rate me kind of thing or anything else that people have done back in the day. I mean, guys do this literally all the time. And just because it was on the internet and because women happen to see these discussions happening in the open and in the public is why that they're so, I guess, pressed about it. Like, they're so upset. Like, oh no, like how can so many, like, we're calling men, like, actually calling men homosexual if they didn't think that Margot Robbie is a 10. And it's sad to see, but even, let's see if I can find the tweet, that even the mighty have fallen. I have to point out that sometimes
Not happy with that Bud Light Dylan
people
Mulvaney
fail
thing.
us.
But look, in these days, he could have been the new Barbie. Speaking of which, there's this big online debate raging right now, and I just want to settle as one true north for the nature of truth itself. Margot Robbie is not mid. A 10 is a 10, even with Common Core math.
Such a shame. Such a shame. He clearly you missed the assignment. Like, that's the whole point is to, like, it's funny because part of it is to subvert, like, the women's expectations of just like, okay, like, this is like, women think Margot Robbie is a 10. Like, that's what the women typically think. Like, oh, this is the hottest actress in Hollywood right now. That's what the perception is, and that's why she's getting a lot of the roles in different stuff like Harley Quinn and all this. But also, it is somewhat true that she's not, like, the pinnacle of attractiveness. But yeah, dude, guy missed the assignment. Like, he missed what was the actual what was actually going on, and clearly is a simp because where was the picture? He's actually at the premiere of the Barbie movie. What a simp! What a simp! Let's see. Such a simp. Let's see. Yep, here. He's simping for the Barbie movie. Such a shame. Dude could have been the Chad, but he decides to. He's even wearing the pink, and he's at the premiere. Mm, not a good look, Chief. Not a good look. Sad day. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. She's no Lizzo. That's fair. But that's why the mid, that was like, she's not a 0. She's like, I mean, she's obviously, you know, I would say, if I'm going to give a number, she's an 8, obviously. She's not average. She's an 8 though. She's not a 10. Let's be honest. Like, there are many who are who are far worse. But apparently that's just kicked off a whole argument and discussion of everything. Let's see here. There was another video. I might just be watching some videos to kind of fill the space here and then just adding commentary. Where is I don't know what to think about. This video is both true, but there's also like I don't. Let's share this. We'll just watch this. This is talking about the current state of the economy. Don't know how many people care about it, but obviously it sucks, man. Like people are trying to like butter it up, but this is really really bad. And some people are saying this is like Great Depression levels.
Yesterday, I posted a stitch with Tom Powell Jr. about his landlord take, which has been a pretty hot topic in TikTok here over the past week. And in it, I stated that I make $70,000 a year and I am still very much paycheck to paycheck, and housing is rough. In the comments of my own video, as well as
Now, granted, I think that a lot of people do some of this to themselves, like a lot of frivolous spending. Now, I've been doing more spending recently just because there are things that I need to have and I need to get done. You know, home projects, things that you got to fix around the house or whatever. But I mean, I'm not just like spending like a lot of people will spend thousands of dollars, like instead of just the few things that I have back here, they would just have like a wall of just stuff. And that's why there's like the self-storage units are making more money than ever because people realize like, okay, I have too much junk, but I want to keep the junk, and then I'm going to put it in there. That's why like we've been trying to like go through and do like yard sales and stuff and try to sell stuff on like marketplace or like buy sell trade pages and everything. Try to get a lot of the stuff out that we don't use.
just seeing it around TikTok as a whole, a lot of people are saying pretty much the same thing. I've seen people that are making six figures with no kids that are still living paycheck to paycheck. And it really got me thinking, why are we having such a hard time? Growing up, six figures is like, you made it. You're rich. You can buy whatever you want, whenever you want. You're never going to run out of money if you make six figures. So I decided to do a little bit of research. According to FDRlibrary.org, the worst year of the Great Depression was 1933, with 25% of the nation's workforce being unemployed. So for those that were working in 1933, what was their salary? According to the IRS, it was about $4,200.
Now, I don't know if he's using average or median. That those are two different things. Like, because if you're going based off the average, or it may be weighted higher because of if someone's making, say, like that's why our average salary is way higher than the median salary in the United States, because the average is going to be more heavily weighted by those who make a lot of money, obviously. So that's why you don't want to look at the average salary. Now, I don't know if he's looking at the average or the median. So this may be why that his next number, that's part of why I think maybe his next number is a little bit off, because it may be heavily weighted toward the fact that there are people making a lot of money, even back in that day, if they owned a lot of the industry, the main manufacturing and everything.
Yikes. Now, let's not forget that 1933 was 90 years ago. And we all know that inflation's a thing, especially in 2023. So let's see what $4,218 looks like in today's money. As you can see here, I pulled up an inflation calculator, and full disclosure, obviously the entirety of 2023 is not available yet, as we are only halfway through the year, so I couldn't get an average for 2023, so I went with an average for 2022. Now, this is the part that's going to ruin your day. It's so bad, I almost want to do a trigger warning. In order to be making an average amount that is on par with what the average American was making in the lowest depths of the Great Depression, in the year 2022, you would need to be making $95,000.
Now, this is where I think it has to be that he's using the average, because let's see. Let's see what the median salary. So, okay, Let's see, wage rates. We're gonna do the quick maths. The average net for taxable returns. Where's the median? And you can this is why some of the stats and some of the numbers, like, there's laws and then there's statistics, that's sort of the saying. um let's see, averaging low average, there's a lot of total wages of the highest. I think there must be some math off on that, because I'm seeing like average salaries that are less than what he was saying. Let's see, statistics of income. There's actually a documentation for this. Let's see, statistics of income. Surprisingly, the IRS still has these documents. Where is median? Did they not track the median income? See, I can't find that. So let's assume half of what, because median is probably half of what the average is, just or a little less, honestly. It's probably less than half, because average salary in the United States is like salary 2023. Let's see what that is. Average salary is 74,000, but that's not the median salary. So what's the median salary? Median salary. Median income. Median, see. Average salary, well then this is saying 52,000. Average salary. Yes, average salary. I mean, they're doing it by industry too. So maybe certain industries are weighting that too. So median, the median US income in 2021 was 69,000. No way. No way. I mean, median. Well, maybe because of the inflation, but I would think it would be lower than that. Average. There's a lot of data, and if you don't find the correct numbers, then you're gonna be off. But like, obviously, that's very hyperbolic, and
There's inflation of over 2,000%. The reason that nobody can afford to buy anything is because we are literally making less than the people were making when this country was at its lowest economic point in history. If you took somebody from 1933 and you placed them in 2023 making the same rate adjusted for inflation, they would be making $25,000 more than I do with a bachelor's in engineering and a
that's a lot of the credentialing process and everything, though. Too, there's a lot of issues that have caused this. Let's see. Where is? Let's find something good to watch here, I guess. What? Oops. Trying to find a video. I had something here. Scroll my timeline. Do. Let's watch. Let's watch this exchange. This is actually interesting. for the presidential elections.
In place in the federal agencies, telling information providers, the social media companies, what they can and cannot run. No one's been held accountable. Meanwhile, Julian Assange is still in prison thanks to our efforts. Would you pardon him, and would you hold those people who are violating the First Amendment accountable?
So these people that violated the First Amendment.
The more I see of Ron DeSantis, like the less like I'm inclined to like him, just because like I don't know if it's just he gives off a really bad vibe because like look at this. I mean, completely uninterested. Obviously, he didn't want to be asked this question because he doesn't want to have to answer this question. But even then, like even as like this body language is just abysmal. Like you're like this facial expression, like everything should be like. I mean, you can rag on Trump, or you can rag on. Honestly, I think out of all this, like Vivek sounded the best in this whole Blaze situation. Like he was the one who came across as most like personable, I guess, and instead of a statue like this. But I mean, I don't know. And that's typically what gets people elected. It's not always about policy. It's not. I mean, there's some things that go into policy and what people want from the candidate, but the candidates typically are pretty malleable to certain changes. But there are some policy decisions that drive and personality decisions like that people are making and value judgments that they're passing based on that. But just saying, I don't know why his body language is like this. Don't know why he's so uncomfortable to answer such a basic question. I guess he should have been prepped for this question a long time ago. Like there should be no hesitation. Like here's what I would do, and this is what I mean. That's what you need to do. Like even if you're not like practicing speaking it, you need to at least practice thinking about these issues and how you're gonna respond if asked about that. And it should be something like where you just straight up say it from your perspective. But obviously, I know that they have donors and they have people that they have to please. So let's see how this goes.
Accountable.
So these people that violated the First Amendment, they need to be held accountable for that. People died as a result of that because they were censoring truthful information about COVID.
And this is a fatal flaw, I think, with the DeSantis campaign, is because he did better than other governors on COVID. He has to talk about COVID in every discussion that he has, and it's so cringy to me. I don't know, like the fact that he has to. I don't know. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't advise.
If people would have adopted those policies, the country would have been better off. Individual states would have been better off. And so I think it had a profound effect. The fact that they censored dissent on COVID meant some kids got locked out of school for a year. The fact that they censored dissent on COVID meant.
See, he's having to like stretch out the fact, like he's trying to stretch out an answer for the fact that he is going to obviously give this a no. Like he's going to say no to the fact he's trying to say, I will handle people who censor. I'm going to do something about that, but I'm not going to necessarily look at the people who have been giving this information and like in the whistleblowers and give them some sort of pardon or whatever. And that's basically what is being, articulated here.
That some people took some of these booster shots when they didn't need to, and they ended up having an adverse reaction. So it had major, major impact. So I think not just with the censorship, I think everything involving COVID, I think there needs to be major, major accountability, because if there's not, if you don't have a reckoning, they are going to do it again. They are going to do it again. Now, in terms of using pardon, my goal.
Look at this. Holy, I didn't see this before, but look at that gasp because he's like, oh my god, now we're gonna talk about pardon. Holy, that body language is horrible.
They are going to do it again.
Right.
Now, in terms of using pardon,
I mean, you didn't just go for a jog, Ron? Like, why so like exasperated to talk about pardon powers? I mean, you're going to be president. You're gonna have to pardon people if that's what you choose. So I don't know.
my goal is to end the weaponization
Speaking
of
of
government.
Florida, why do this? Why do this to yourself?
And that involves firing people. It involves taking parts of the DOJ and putting them in.
Who are they, Ron? They censored. Like who's they? But who are they? Ron. Oh, look, Magoo, you can't be asking those good questions. It'll make Ron uncomfortable. Like
Other states.
hold
People.
on. It'll make Ron. Where's the gasp? It'll make him this uncomfortable. That's how uncomfortable asking who they are is going to make Ron. Like he's clearly not
My
ready.
goal is to end the weaponization of government. And that involves firing people. It involves taking parts of the DOJ and putting them in other states. Iowa, if you guys want a part of the DOJ, I'll send it out here, send it to Alabama, wherever. And we're going to do that. We're going to take power out of Washington. But part of what you need to do, if you have a two-tiered system of justice, you need to make sure if there's some people that got away that shouldn't have, they need to face the music. And if there are other people that are getting targeted through abuse of government, then there needs to be use of the pardon power. So the day after the election, we're going to open up an ability for people to submit applications, ask for the pardon based on whether they were treated dissimilarly or whether the government mobilized against them. And so we're going to do it the front end of the administration. I'm not going to wait.
I really hate these mealy mouth answers. Even if you want to be charitable and say like, well, he doesn't need to say who he's going to pardon because then that's going to affect. There is some truth to that, I guess. Like that's going to affect how a lot of the things are perceived and what goes on, the goings on of everything regarding how the governmental procedures. And he shouldn't be saying exactly who he's going to pardon because that might affect something, on a global scale. Because if you say, "Hey, I'm going to pardon Julian Assange," and then they don't want to. Like the other governments don't want to deal with that whole process of having to negotiate and all these things. So yeah, I can understand why you wouldn't just say explicitly, but I would be like, well, if we can get through a process and figure out how to navigate this and pardon the correct people, then we will. And that's all he should have said. Like, if we can navigate the process of using the power of pardon and do it in a way that is beneficial to both to our government and to be able to respond well on the national stage, then we will use them. Hey, there's Claude.
Hey, can
What's
you hear
going
me?
on? Yeah, actually, pretty well.
All right. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man.
Yeah. You've been flying solo for the last half hour? 40
Yeah.
minutes?
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, I just been watching videos mostly.
Who's that? Mr. DeSantis?
The king of Florida.
Mr. DeSanctimonious?
The
I was up in
sanctimonious.
New York this past week, and there's actually a town called Florida. I didn't
Really?
realize. But yeah, town of Florida. I almost took a picture of the water tower because people won't believe me, but I didn't. I didn't take it, but it's there. Go Google that stuff.
I didn't
Huh?
I didn't know there was a town of Florida. I know there's a lot of like shared naming from like across the country. I mean, there's
Yeah.
towns like in Alabama that are, because I forget, there's one town in Alabama that I've noticed that was the same in Tennessee as well. So like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of that shared.
Like I know, like Dublin, Ohio, Dublin, Georgia. I think there used to be a Dublin in New Hampshire. I think I don't know back. 1800s. I'm not sure if it's still there. Canton, Ohio, Canton. There's a bunch of them all over the place. I think you know what? It sounds like Ohio is the problem.
Yeah.
Sounds like they stole a couple there, but anything new? Any news? I haven't been paying attention to the news because I can't anymore. I just can't do it. But
Not like a lot of stuff like in as far as like I mean, there was clearly the debates and everything that not really debates. It was the Tucker thing, like where they had Tucker talk to the candidates.
no, I didn't know that. So who are the candidates?
So for Republicans, it's Ron DeSantis, Trump, obviously, which he's going to be supposedly going to be indicted, and that's part of the title of this video, like the title of the stream or whatever is that they're actually going to close, the walls are closing in, and finally he's going to get indicted again, and. The leftists are cheering on Twitter, like, "Oh, he's going to jail."
So what end though? Like, what really? They really think he's gonna go to jail? I mean, I think that
the leftists really do.
But like, do they though? I don't know. Or do they just think like, oh, this will stop him from getting elected, or like, I
think it's both. I think they think it'll stop him from getting elected, and they kind of they secretly hope that something will stick. I think that's basically what it comes down to, is like they're like, okay, maybe something will stick, and then he'll be stuck like in jail, and then Biden will win again or something. But I don't think it's gonna be Biden. I've been speculating that it's gonna be Gavin Newsom. Like Biden's gonna like have a stroke by the end of this year, and then Newsom is gonna announce at the end of this year, and he's gonna say,
what if they do like a Newsom Biden?
A Newsom Biden ticket? That would be
Biden Newsom, I guess.
Yeah,
the proper naming of it, but keep him on there. Then you have all like everybody all those 80 million people that voted for him before, and then you got Newsom.
Then he's supposed to tack on even more votes. He's gonna have the most votes of ever. That's gonna be the thing. But yeah, this is, let's see, the mostest votes ever. Like that's gonna be the trend. Is just like the Democrats get the most votes ever again.
Well, I mean, you bring in, you start letting illegal people vote and stuff, and start making numbers. And anybody that still thinks voting is like real beyond like maybe the local level, I can't take them as real people.
Yeah. So here he's talking about like this is he received a letter that I don't know which, Jack Smith, the prosecutor with Joe Biden's DOJ. So they're trying to still push this. I don't know, DOJ, they're trying to use some court case to just keep him tied up, I guess. Probably just to keep him busy so that he's not doing anything else.
I mean, and that's what they've been doing from day one, the day he took office, the day before, the day he like got elected. The votes were in. They've been scheming and trying to keep his hands tied, whether it's the Steele dossier or Stormy Daniels or whatever they're trying to impeach him for today. Like that's all they do.
Like even if I wanted to be the kind of cynical person, was like, well, Trump did nothing in office. Well, honestly, if you're saying he did nothing in office, a president doing nothing in office, I'm honestly proud. Like, proud of them not doing anything. But even then, like, okay, he could have done a lot of stuff. Like there was, but I mean, when you have the media press all against you, I mean, nobody can do anything in that situation. Like, especially how chaotic it was. Like he
couldn't do even the, and that's why it's like the more you step back and look at it, I think the more it's kind of like he just wasn't that establishment person, and I don't think he was supposed to win, right? And you have all these middle of the line milquetoast Republicans that were like on board with, tying him up. And it's like, okay, so are we starting to see the picture now, guys? Like, it's this non-establishment guy and everybody's working against him. Like, stop voting for these retards. Like, the same. I don't know.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I mean, like the Paul Ryan and all that junk. People were acting like, oh, like, yeah, he said he wanted to work with Paul Ryan, but like Paul Ryan didn't do anything for him. Like that was the whole point of like trying to get him out of there. Like Jesus, dude. These ultimately, like they don't want to do anything, but if you view it from the like base human perspective, I guess is like the a lot of the guys they just want to go into the game, get what they can, and they don't want to have to do anything. Like they don't want to have to make serious changes because that would like rock the boat. You know what I mean? Whether left or right, even the AOC, she might introduce a bill that's like, okay, we made the Green New Deal or whatever, but like it didn't get signed, and I'm not going to push any harder. Okay, I tried for the Green New Deal, it failed. You guys, I'm going to throw up my hands and I'm done. I'm just going to collect my paycheck as the congresswoman from the Bronx or whatever. Like that's the whole stick, right? Like but she's not gonna push too hard because then they're gonna use the political power to get her out of there. So that's where you're stuck. If you push for actual change, you're gonna get like cut down pretty quick.
And I think it's yeah, and I think that's it. It's like it asks the question, right? Whether like these people they go into office, do they actually mean well? Do they actually want to make change? Are they actually trying? And then when they get there, their hands are tied, or are the incentive is to do nothing just that good? I mean, look at how much money
I think it's
Nancy
both.
Pelosi has now. Like if
I
I
think it's
sit
both.
here long enough, I'm going to be a millionaire and do nothing to get there. But then you got guys like Thomas Massey, and I guess, and again, I don't know how much he's been able to do necessarily, other than like introducing things or bringing points to light. But I don't know.
Well, I mean, because here's the thing, and this is sort of like even if we say it's a constitutional republic or whatever, there's still like a sort of democratic element to a lot of this. Because if you introduce a bill, it doesn't mean that your bill is gonna win the day, even if it's the best. Like you write the best bill possible. Like you have to have the other people on board, and those other people have conflicting interests with your own. Like Thomas Massey may be like, okay, I want to be the most have the most free country in the world, and I want to do all this kind of stuff. But if there are 99 other people who don't feel that same way, or they have other lobbyists or other interests that are pulling them in a different direction, then he's just one voice out of 100 or whatever. I mean, obviously in
150.
Congress is more, 450 or whatever, 458 is, I can't remember.
I don't know.
But yeah.
I don't know, man. I should run for office and just like get rich.
I mean,
if I saved all the money I would save from buying lotto tickets, like I could run a campaign already, and I could just get rich off the tit,
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Yeah, right. Like sell my soul to Pfizer, and I'd be a millionaire.
There was, it was going around like last week. There was something about like I think that the number was off, but like you can introduce a bill with like $5,000 or something like that. Like if you pay a lobbyist $5,000, you can get a bill introduced. It doesn't mean that it's going to go anywhere. It just means that you can get something introduced. So I was like, maybe that's not the right number. It has to be at least 10,000 adjusted for inflation.
Can we get a bill? We could raise money to get the Adam Kokesh bill to just like hit the button and dissolve things, right?
Didn't somebody introduce it like a bill to like well, there's been several bills I think to end the Department of Education and end, but they never go anywhere because obviously that's against the. But
It's
like
the
you were
biggest.
saying that as far as like
Ye-
I think it's both. I think they have the incentive to not do anything and make money, and then also they go into this like with the cynical like approach of just like I'm gonna go get mine, and then I'm not really all that interested in what everybody is doing. But I think there's some that are well meaning, but then most of them are like I'm gonna raise my profile, I'm
Yeah.
gonna get the bag, and then I'm gonna introduce some stuff to kind of look like I'm working and look like I'm doing things, and that's gonna be the cycle that I'm gonna keep on.
Yeah. Politicians working sounds funny.
Well, they don't even write the bills. I mean, even Thomas Massey doesn't write the bills. Like he's not writing this stuff. He has the team that works for him that writes all the stuff. He's just I guess the idea guy who's saying, "Hey, I
It's
want it."
it's wild to think about how Congress, how Senate, the Senate and the House was set up like originally, right? And like where we've gone just because of the scope and size of things. Like you can't, 9 out of 10 senators or congressmen, I guess, couldn't write a bill, right? They don't have the know-how, the legalese, the jargon, all the BS that goes with it. They wouldn't know how. So now, like, it's like all the branches of the government extrapolated out into Congress, right? Like you had not branches of government, but all the government agencies, all the alphabet agencies that nobody votes for, but they're still like that's what you live by, the FDA, the USDA, the EPA, like all these organizations that
And I think
control our lives.
that's some of the like the conflicts I think too, because there are a lot of like, okay, we got to read the bill to see what's in the bill, and the reason for that is because like they have the interns writing the bill or whatever, and those interns are taking the information based off of like, okay, here's what's poll, like they're looking at data and they're saying like this is what polls well, and this is what you should have in this bill for your
Big bouncy boobies.
yeah.
Bartenders with big old titties, yeah.
Yeah.
As well, we'll put her up there. Yeah, I don't know, man. Cynical of it all. And it sucks because like I was in New York this past week and visiting family and stuff. Man, it's beautiful up there. I love it up there. I'd move back up there, but it's like the same retards that like got a taste of Kathy Hochul or whatever her name is, and then voted for her again. The same morons that put AOC there and decided that she's the best option again. Those are the jackwagons that control how I'm going to live 5 hours away from them. It's just I can't do that. I just can't stomach it. Like it's scary. It doesn't make any sense. Voting.
Yeah, voting, all this political stuff might make you a little bit retarded.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.